everybody! Today we're going to make something special. We're doing chocolate covered salted caramel pecan cookies. The first thing we gotta do is make our caramel. So we have our white sugar, our brown sugar, our corn syrup. The recipe didn't specify if light or dark, so I went with light. Also have evaporated milk, whipped cream, regular butter, and vanilla. First thing we need to do is mix everything together except the vanilla. That's last. So we're gonna put our sugar in our pot, all the sugars, and then we're gonna put our corn syrup in our pot. Make sure we get all that in there. There we go. And then our evaporated milk. And our whipping cream. It said to use a medium pot for this. I'm hoping it's gonna be big enough. And our butter. Again, it didn't specify if it was supposed to be soft butter or stick butter, so I went with stick butter. Now that everything's in the pot, the next thing we need to do is cook it to 250 degrees. Now that our sugar is melted to a liquid, we're gonna go ahead and put our candy thermometer in there so we can monitor our temperature consistently. We wanna make sure we don't go over that 250 degree mark, and also make sure that your candy thermometer does not touch the bottom of the pan so you don't get an inaccurate reading. And again, as is my favorite, I went with a recipe from All Recipes. So, very much not recommended in the middle of making this. I read some notes on the recipe that someone else had entered, and it says that this is gonna triple in size, and obviously the pot I was using was definitely not going to accommodate that. So I moved to something larger before I got too far into it. The recipe calls for a 13 by 15 pan that's lightly oiled to put the candy in. The oil is to make sure that the candy doesn't stick when you go to cut it and take it out. Okay, we are very close to our 250 degrees now. And as soon as it hits that mark, we need to put in our vanilla and pour it on our pan. Gotta make sure that you stir constantly. Don't stir for just a little bit too long, and you end up with not pretty caramel. All right, here we go. Throw that vanilla in there. Stir it in real good. And then pour it on our pan. Oh yeah. That looks so yum. Make sure that's nice and even. Even as possible. Go. Then we're going to set that to the side to cool. Don't forget to turn your stove off. Okay, while we're waiting on our caramel to cool, we're gonna go ahead and put the cookies together. So this recipe for the salted caramel chocolate pecan cookies is actually from a website called Cookin'. I went a little bit different this time. But what we gotta do, we preheated our oven to 350 degrees, and now we are going to mix our butter and our sugar until it's light and fluffy. Remember to periodically open your mixer so that way you can spatula down all the stuff that got up on the sides. Okay, now that that's done, we gotta beat in our vanilla. I'm gonna go ahead and mix my salt into my flour. I want to make sure that I spatula down all the vanilla I got up on the side of the bowl. And then we want to gradually add our flour mixture. Doesn't always fit as advertised. You want to do a little at a time so that way you don't make a big flour mess in your kitchen. You notice I keep turning the bowl? That's because every time I pour, it makes a wider and wider space that the flour is going to come out of. But if I keep turning the bowl, it turns it towards the point that was made instead of the whole flat side. Okay, now the next instruction is to press our dough together in plastic wrap. First of all, I'm gonna get it all off the sides. Try our best not to make a mess. Look at that. It's very crumbly. I've never done this before. Don't make fun of me. Now that we've pressed our dough into a ball, it's time for dredging. So what we have to do is make about 1.5 inch balls. Just be a little smaller than that. It's got to go a long way. All right, about a 1.5 inch ball. And then we dip it in our egg. And then we dip our egg soaked ball into our pecans. Cover that up real good. Then we put our ball on the cookie sheet with parchment paper on it. And then we press our thumb down in the center. That's gonna make a well for the caramel to sit in later. I believe I've decided the correct method is to make the balls first. Okay, now that we got our balls done, let's start that dredging process over again. You know, cooking shows always make this look so clean, but when you're having fun, cooking is messy. By the way, I seem to have made an egregious error in how finely I chopped my pecans. So I'm gonna have to chop some more since I ran out long before I ran out of balls. Okay, now I have some much more finely chopped pecans, and maybe we can move forward and they'll look prettier. As you can see, they're also more evenly covered that way. Oh look, my dredging bowls magically refill themselves. Now keep going. Going back over my other ones because they clearly don't have enough on them. These are the hands of a successful pecan dredge. Remember, we always want to keep our workstation and our hands clean. So the next step is to make a well in the cookies, like I started to do with my fingers, but clearly that was not working very well. That's what the recipe calls for, using your thumb to depress the center. I'm going to use a thumb-shaped and sized instrument instead. Some of these are working well and some of them not so much. Okay, magnificent. I think next time I make these, I should do more like flying saucers instead of balls. Okay, now our cookies need to go into the oven for 10 minutes, and then we'll take them out, we'll press them with the spoon again, and then put it in for 10 more minutes until they're golden brown. In the meantime, we're gonna make the caramel that goes in the middle in the little divots that we made. We're going to mix the caramel we made earlier with heavy cream. They said this process should only take 5 to 6 minutes, so we're going to wait until our cookies go in the oven the second time to actually do this. Okay, our 10 minutes is up. Now we got to take them out, press the centers again, and then put it back in for 10 more minutes. Preferably with the gloves. We don't want them to be out for too long, because then they'll get cold. And now we're gonna turn on our caramel mixture. So I forgot to set the timer on my cookies, so we know that they gotta be golden brown. Okay, our time is up. They are pretty close to golden brown. Look at that. Nice. Yeah. There we go. So my camera and my phone ended up dying in the middle of this process, but here's the end result of the cookies. Aren't they beautiful? Yes, they are. They're yum. Nice, smooth caramel. Look at this. Look at this caramel. Look at that. Chocolate. Chocolate is so smooth. Look at that. But yep, so that's it for today. You can see I still got a few more to do. If you like what I did and you'd like to see more, leave a comment below. Remember to hit like. Sweet dreams, guys.